All right, guys, before we jump into today's video, I did want to let you know that we have a promo going on over on the Fade Me store right now. If you use code WEEK4, you can get 20% off site-wide. No minimums, no restrictions, just 20% off. Go support what we're doing and pick up some great merch at the same time. Again, fademe.store. Now let's jump into the video.
All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Monday Night Football, week number 4 between the Giants and the Seahawks. Right now, the Giants sitting at 1.5-point dogs at home. The total is up to 47.5. We have a game pick in this game, as well as 2 player props that I want to send your way in today's video. We're going to jump into all of that, but first, make sure you guys go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button as well. And while you're down there, make sure to go ahead and check out Sleeper. If you haven't checked out Sleeper yet, you're missing out on a really fun DFS pick'em app, guys. You can use the link in the pinned comment. You get 100% of your first deposit match. Literally a no-brainer. You want to throw in $100? Sleeper's gonna go, okay, here you go, $100 more. You'll have a new account balance of $200. It's a no-brainer. And what I love about Sleeper is each and every selection you make in your slip has its own dynamic multiplier. They don't follow a fixed payout structure like a bunch of other apps out there. Make sure to go check out Sleeper, guys. That link is in the pinned comment. Let's go ahead and jump into our game pick in this spot. Now, right now, like I said, New York is plus 1.5. We look at, I guess, just some of the line movement so far. We'll use DraftKings as an example here, just because they have the most line movement so far. You can see that New York actually came in at -1 in terms of how this opened up. It's all the way up to +2 on the Giants side of things. Over on BetMGM, Caesars, and FanDuel, we're looking at the 1.5 number there for Seattle as well as New York. But yeah, totally has flipped here, obviously, with money coming in on the Giants there. In terms of where I am looking at my pick, though, I do like Seattle in this spot. I think that they have just I don't even know if I want to say a better team. Like, this is a somewhat hesitant play because I don't love Seattle, but what have we seen from New York that would give us any, and I mean any, sort of confidence so far? Oh, they came back and beat Arizona for their only win on the season, right? So it's really hard to come in here with any sort of confidence. Even in that game, they didn't cover. They're 0-3 against the spread here, 0-1 at home. So I do like Seattle. When it comes to DVOA rankings here, Seattle offensively, DVOA is ranked 4th right now. 8th in pass and run is 7th, which is really good. And from a defensive perspective, they're 7th in DVOA against the run as well. Now, Saquon Barkley might not play. He is doubtful as of right now, but if he doesn't go, that's obviously a hit to New York's run game to begin with. And then even if they tried out Breida, it's going to be tough to run on this Seattle defense here. And then when it comes to the Giants, like I said, I don't even want to look at their DVOA rankings or anything like that because they've just been so bad so far. 31st when it comes to defensive DVOA, 29th in offensive DVOA, and 31st overall in DVOA, which is obviously a metric to kind of rank you in the league, given the factorization, I guess you could say, of the teams you have played. So even though if you play bad teams, good teams, they kind of try and equate it there, which you can't really say that New York has played bad teams so far, other than Arizona. They played Dallas and San Francisco, 2 of the better defenses in the league. But nonetheless, guys, I'm looking at the Seahawks here laying the points. I may consider the money line right now at -120. That doesn't seem like it's all that terrible. You're paying -110 for -1.5. Money line, you're only paying 10 cents on the price there. So I might consider money line. Keep an eye on the pinned comment to see what we end up rolling with. But I just think that this is a better team right now, or at least they've shown that they are a better team. What concerns me, I told you, there's a little bit of hesitancy when it comes to this play, is that wouldn't you say, and this is a numbers aside sort of gut check type of play, right? Wouldn't you say that, primetime Monday Night Football is the night that the Giants kind of get out of their rut? They're at home. They're playing a Seahawks team that, yes, they've been playing well, but they played against the Rams, Lions, and Carolina. Detroit probably being the best team there, but even still, like, what is that team so far? So yeah, I do want to give you, I guess, both sides of the story. I do like Seattle because we've seen plenty from them. I think they have more weapons, especially with Saquon. Doubtful in this spot, but if you're on New York, you better hold on tight because we don't know what we're getting from this team. It's literally going to be a box of chocolates. But nonetheless, guys, let's go ahead and jump into our player props. Again, that pick on the game is going to be either Seattle minus the 1.5 points or taking them on the money line here. But if we jump into our player props here, the first one I want to look at, and I do really like this spot for him. The unfortunate thing is that he's been kind of inconsistent to start the year, but we'll take a peek at Darren Waller. His over 47.5 receiving yards here. You can see that at -125 over on DraftKings. They beat Caesar's price. If you want to look at this just to get 40 yards, there is some juice to be paid here. -166. He's only done it one time this season here. Let's put this back to the actual line here, 46.5. I will say, like I said, Jesus, I'm all over the place now. Actual line here, 47.5. I don't mind 46.5 either. Those aren't that bad of odds. But he has not really done this year. The only time he did it was against Arizona. But his target share is going up here. You could see this. Six receptions on 8 targets in that week, and he had 7 targets last week. I don't hate that whatsoever. 7 targets, and he's averaging almost 11 yards per reception. If he's gonna get 7 targets, even if he catches 80% of those, we're looking at this cashing and getting over or near 50 yards. And if you want to look at Seattle against this spot, so far they're the second worst when it comes to receiving yards allowed, but to the tight end position, they're allowing the 6th most yards per game to tight ends at 56.5. We saw Higbee go for 3 and 49 against them. Laporta go for 5 and 63 against them. And then the 3, they also played Carolina here. The 3 tight ends combined for 32, but no big names in there. I'm more or less looking at Higbee and Laporta as a comparison. And we know Waller can also be a little bit more dynamic there as well. So give me that player prop in terms of our first pick here. Again, whether you want to get it at 47.5, 46.5, or if you want to pay the juice, get 39.5. There are 3 numbers there that I do like indeed. And guys, by the way, the tool that we are using is Outlier. If you want to check out that tool, we're going to dive into it again in just a second, but you can get 7 days free with the link in the pinned comment. I've been loving Outlier. I've talked to you guys about it plenty. If you're a new viewer, you probably haven't heard it, but it is a great sports betting research tool, both for game picks as well as, obviously, like we just saw, player props there. You can get 7 days free again with that link in the pinned comment. So let's go into player prop number 2 here. I'm looking at Kenneth Walker anytime touchdown. You get that -110 over on DraftKings right now, again beating FanDuel at -125. I just think that this is going to be a spot where he gets a lot of touches. We haven't seen all that much out of the Giants defense so far, but again, we haven't seen much out of the Giants to begin with, so I don't really want to say, oh well, they're allowing all this. No, they have not been good altogether, but Seattle's offense has looked good, and what I really do like is Kenneth Walker's red zone rush share. Look at these last 2 weeks. They had 8 red zone attempts, right? He got 7 carries, and then 8 the next week. He got 5 carries. So he went from 88%, 63%. Even in the week number 1, he had 1 of the 2. Like, this is a guy that they're handing the ball to and trusting over here. And then obviously, touchdowns against New York, they have not been all that great. I don't want to put too much weight into that, but they've allowed the 3rd most touchdowns this season. So to recap, we are looking at Seattle -1.5 points / money line. We'll tell you what we end up rolling with in the pinned comment. And then I like Darren Waller. I also don't mind his receptions depending on what the line comes in at. We don't have that just yet, but when we do get that, guys, that could be a lean that we're looking at. And then obviously his over in receiving yards is the final play, but I don't mind that sort of a lean there as well. And then in terms of our last player prop, we are going to be looking at Kenneth Walker anytime touchdown score. Let's keep the momentum up. We've been having decent primetime slated nights here. Make sure to check out Sleeper. Make sure to check out Outlier, guys. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch you guys in the next video, all right? Peace out.